The worker wades through the lotus pond, chopping each fresh lotus stem. This is not only a daily task but also the beginning of the journey to create traditional seals, the famous red ink of the East, which has appeared on countless ancient books, documents, seals, and royal treasures. The craftsman begins to split each lotus stem, gently but firmly, revealing the delicate silk threads hidden inside. These silk threads are soft and smooth like smoke, but are the key ingredient in the structure of the premium ink. The lotus silk is then collected and dried in the shade for more than a year. No rush, no pressing, just letting time and air work their magic, retaining the flexibility, durability, and perfect adhesive properties for the ink later on. The craftsman continues to process another important ingredient, the special oil, which determines the stability, brightness, and long-term preservation of the seal. This oil is usually made from vegetable essential oils, has a golden color, a light fragrance, and is made by the craftsman in secret. Next, the craftsman carefully grinds a red mineral stone, which is cinnabar, also known as cinnabar. This is a mineral with a high natural mercury content with a characteristic red color and has long been used in calligraphy, traditional medicine, and ink making. Cinnabar is ground repeatedly with water until a velvety red residue is obtained, the most quintessential part to create the background color for the seal. Then the craftsman begins to weigh each precious ingredient. Musk for a light fragrance. Saffron helps to harmonize the color. Gold powder, pearl powder bring a special shine and light to the premium ink. All are mixed with processed cinnabar powder, opening up a combination of minerals and fragrances between color and cultural depth. The vegetable oil has been dried in the sun and becomes thick and transparent like amber. The craftsman carefully pours some of the oil into the mixture of cinnabar and medicinal herbs and begins the mixing process. Then, lotus silk threads that have been dried for more than a year are added, like a string that binds all the ingredients into a smooth, supple mass. They use their hands to knead the mixture meticulously and rhythmically, not too hard but not too lightly, because only the feeling of the craftsman's hands can control the perfect elasticity, fluffiness, and adhesion. Finally, the mixture is left to dry in the sun for 7 days, so that the sunlight can help perfect the structure of the ink, elastic but not runny, soft but not runny. After being exposed to the sun for 7 days, the ink is placed in a cool place, away from direct sunlight. Here, it is incubated for 3 months, an important step for the ink to settle, stabilize, and rest after absorbing heat and humidity from the environment. During this time, natural ingredients such as oil, lotus silk, cinnabar, and medicinal herbs begin to fully bond, creating a creamy texture, a faint fragrance, and a red color as shiny as vermilion. And then, a premium ink was officially born. Not just a color for stamping, but a part of Eastern culture, where each drop of ink is the crystallization of earth, sky, herbs, and years of hard work by the craftsman. Stone key stone. This type of stone has many colors, from reddish brown, purple brown to black brown, has fine veins and moderate hardness. Very suitable for making inkstones to grind ancient writing ink. Stone key stone is popular not only because of its practicality, but also because of the aesthetic and cultural value it brings. The worker takes the crushed stone key stone pieces and puts them into a foot-operated manual stone crusher. This is a traditional device that works on the principle of a lever. The worker uses his foot to press down on one end, causing the other end to lift up and fall down to hit the stone, helping to gradually crush the stone into smaller pieces, suitable for making many things. After the stone is crushed with a foot-pounding machine, the worker begins to sift the stone pieces to separate the qualified ones, the right size and fineness, and then puts them into a grinder to grind them into superfine powder. This is an important step that determines the surface quality and smoothness of the ink grinding bowl later. After grinding, the dry stone powder is poured onto a fine sieve. The worker uses his hands to sift evenly so that the finest particles fall to the bottom, straight into a prepared jar of water. The fine powder will gradually settle to the bottom when it meets water, forming a layer of raw materials ready for the shaping stage. The craftsman adds special muddy water, which can be clay or additives that help bind and soften the stone powder. The mixture is left to settle overnight. The next day, the craftsman drains off the clear water on top, then collects the residue, the essence, and puts it in a cloth to squeeze out the water, preparing to shape the inkstone. Once the dregs have drained, the craftsman takes them out and begins to knead them by hand. This process helps the material achieve a smooth, uniform consistency and eliminates any remaining air bubbles. stone powder is then shaped into blocks, wrapped in cloth or oiled paper, and placed in a wooden box, not for simple storage, but to ferment for a whole year. The fermenting time helps the material mature, stabilize, and perfect the crystal structure inside. After a year of incubation in a wooden box, the raw material is taken out, soft and smooth, as if the earth and sky have ripe. The craftsman continues to knead the dough to awaken the stable structure, then begins to shape the inkstone, shaping the bottom, base, corners, etc. The rough version after shaping is not exposed to direct sunlight but is dried in the shade to dry naturally to avoid cracking. After the inkstones are dried in the shade and have reached a certain hardness, the craftsmen continue with the most delicate stage, sketching and carving patterns. This is when they infuse their soul into each inkstone. Each line is a blend of technique, aesthetics, and intention. After shaping and carving, the inkstone is placed in a traditional kiln, where high temperatures help to solidify the structure, increase durability, and retain every carved detail. The firing process lasts for many hours. When taken out, the inkstone has been tempered, officially completing the journey from stone to treasure.